United draw away, Liverpool draw at home, and Michael Owen scores the winner for Real Madrid on another night of terrific Champions League football. Paul Walsh played for Liverpool in the 1985 European Cup final. He's with us tonight. Please give us a call. They weather all kinds of pressure and could have won it at the end. It's a right old battle for United in Prague. They remain unbeaten and they come away with a point. Liverpool create chance after chance, but there's no way through against Deportivo, who'll be the happy of the two sides, taking a hard-earned point away from Anfield. And Michael's off the mark, the winner, much needed for Real Madrid, at home to Kiev. Number to ring 0900 9100 200 from the Republic of Ireland. It's 1550 718 728. You can email us at you'reon@skysports.com, or you can text you're on, that's all one word, then your comment, then your name to 84401. Hi Paul, how are you?
Rob, I'm right, yeah.
I watched.
Yeah.
We were watching a number of screens, and but sort of majoring on Liverpool, Manchester United, and a touch of Real Madrid. Liverpool would be disappointed, won't they?
They were majorly disappointed. They had the bulk of the game. They created the best chances. They dominated the game, and had several decent chances, as we said, and just couldn't stick it in the back of the net, mainly in the first half. And they'd be disappointed in the fact that they just never nicked that chance, never scored that vital goal that would have took the pressure off them, and they could have maybe gone on. But I think they look back on it, and after everything they've created, be disappointed with the final outcome.
At the same time, I think you've got to say Manchester United be relieved that they got a point.
It's the other way round, wasn't it? I mean, Sparta Prague, you don't tend to give them much chance when you see the groups, but you can't underestimate these teams. Poborski was fantastic, wasn't he, for large parts of the game. They had several great chances as well, constantly put Manchester United under pressure. Towards the very latter stages of the game, Manchester United looked like they could have maybe just nicked something from it, but I think it would have been very unfair on Prague if they'd have lost anything tonight.
And what kind of boost will that be for Michael Owen scoring the goal?
Yeah, it's great.
We were whooping and hollering for him. We were up there for him.
I don't think you can fully appreciate the pressure that he's under. He's gone into that situation. Certain factions of the Real Madrid camp are with him, and certain parts aren't. Even in the dressing room as well, by the sounds of it. So for him to get on and to nick that goal, and it was great work by Ronaldo down the left-hand side, squared it across, and he's made that run and just nicked a toe on it.
Real Michael Owen goal, wasn't it?
To get it in the back, yeah, and he needed that, and you could see the delight, and it was good to see all the other players jumping on him and being pleased for him. I think that'll please him as well, but he did end up getting substituted. The problem you see with Michael Owen a little bit, he's not doing a lot else in the game. Apart from nicking his goal, but that makes it even more vital for him to have to nick a goal, because that's going to be his contribution, because if he's not getting involved in creating and doing other things, then he's got to be knocking one in.
Okay, loads to go out tonight. Please come online and join us. Joseph Kidney, you're on Sky Sports. Hello Joseph.
Hello Rob.
Hi Joseph.
Hi,
what
Joseph.
would you like to say?
I'm just commenting on United's attitude this evening. Basically, when there was a chance for one of the Sparta Park players who went past Silvestre, and once Carroll made a good save.
Let's just get it right. How many unbelievable saves did he make this evening?
Oh, he was brilliant. No, I'd say it's his best performance I've seen in
ages. Credit Roy Carroll. He made some fantastic saves. He kept them in the game, didn't he, at times?
Oh, he did. But you just saw in the aftershot, John O'Shea was clapping and stuff, and I think it's just that they don't really care that much, and also when
Joseph, how do you mean? What do you mean they don't care? They don't care about playing?
Like they're not too worried if they concede a goal or anything like that, and also when there's deflections coming back up in the air, they seem to kind of think before going for the ball instead of actually like going full force in and trying to win the ball.
I don't know. I don't know about this. What
do you think, Alex Ferguson?
Yeah, I was about to say.
I don't think so somehow. Yeah. But no, I don't think United are playing as well as they can. They're not firing on all cylinders. I watched them Saturday. I thought they missed Giggs on the left-hand side. Without him, they didn't quite have that shape. Sahar came out and played on the left-hand side. At one stage, they had every forward-thinking player in the squad on the pitch. The shape went a bit. Everyone was running everywhere. Tonight, got him back. But what I saw of the game, Sparta Prague played some great stuff. Troubled United with clever play around the box, got players in behind them, and as you say, Roy Carroll made 3 or 4 fantastic saves, and they could have easily won the game, Prague. And I just feel that the confidence isn't quite there with United at the moment. Rooney's had a fantastic start. He was never going to be able to keep repeating that every
week in, week
and,
out.
No, it just was never going to happen. It was a great start for him, but obviously it's set a standard that's going to be difficult to follow. And after the long layoff and then all the quick succession of games he had a rest on the weekend and then came on as sub, back in the frame again tonight, and I think it's going to be hard for him to get going again. He's got the ability, we all know that, and there's no one better than Alex Ferguson to manage that situation. But I just felt United were slightly off colour tonight, but I was up against a very good Sparta Prague side.
I got a point, that's the key. Joseph, thanks for kicking us off this evening. Kassim Khan, you're on Sky Sports. Hello there.
Hello.
Hi, what would you like to say?
Rob, it's Kassim.
Hi, what would you like to say?
Yeah, I'm an Arsenal supporter. And basically, I was watching the Man United game tonight, just putting a bit of survey on it, just getting ready for the Sunday's big kick-off, you know.
What did you make of them tonight?
Do you know what? Can I have two quick questions? First question, right? I thought Man United were too nervous tonight. They were just concentrating on Sunday's game. And second question, I think Fergie really shouldn't have said that about Arsenal, about last year, because that's just boiling up now, isn't it? Because I think Man United are going to do something really dirty on the day, I reckon. I don't know, what do you reckon?
I can't believe everyone keeps falling for this every season.
No, but why Alex Ferguson had to kick it off?
No, but I mean, we have this little tit for tat, like little snipe at each other. They must be laughing when they read picking up and seeing the reaction they get off the back of it. Maybe he's trying to get a little bit of reaction from the players. He does want to stoke up. He does want to make it an occasion, because Arsenal are one of the most free-flowing, calmest teams.
Yes.
And if he can knock them out of their stride by making it more of a battle rather than a really great game of football, maybe that might just suit Manchester United at the moment. But I tell you what, so Arsenal Saturday, and they had 2 or 3 great chances, but then Villa just scored out of the blue and shocked them. And the first thing I thought was, blimey, Aston Villa have just scored too early. There's only 5 or so minutes into the game, and Arsenal just created wave after a wave of great football and movement. It must have been frightening for David O'Leary and their players, and I think they've all come out of all the plaudits about Arsenal. But it's set up brilliantly for the 50th game this weekend, and I can't wait to see it. I don't know what the outcome's going to be, but it's going to be a great game, and it's going to be two fantastic sides, even though Manchester United, I feel, are a little bit off colour just at the minute.
OK, thanks, Kassim. Paul Clark, you're on Sky Sports. Hello, Paul.
Hi, how you doing, guys?
Yeah,
Hi,
good,
Paul.
thanks. What do you want to say?
I just want a quick point to make about Wayne Rooney and all this hype that's gone on around him.
Who do you support, Paul? Who do you support?
I'm an Arsenal man, but that doesn't colour my judgment.
I'm glad about that. I'm glad about that.
I do love the guy. I think he plays with a real enthusiasm, that sort of Ian Wright style enthusiasm, and you have to like him. But let's not be stupid about this. He's not Michel Platini. He's not Maradona, Cruyff, or Pelé. He's a good footballer with a lot of promise.
Yes.
And one thing I just get so tired of is every time I turn on Sky Sports, everyone's just throwing these plaudits at him and filling his head with all these ideas. And you can see, for example, in that the England game, 2 games ago, I can't remember who we
Wales?
played. Wales, that's it.
Yeah.
You can see that his head was just so full of himself, and he was just.
But he was blooming good.
He was good.
Paul, he's playing with it. He's
really
playing with a
selfish.
nice, confident arrogance at the minute, which you get from, and all good players have to have that.
There's a natural style about him as well, isn't
and there's a little bit of a cockiness around him. You've got to have that. All the great players have got a bit of that. And I'm not saying he's great at the moment, but he certainly potentially can be great. And he's got, how many? Is it 9 goals for England already? He's 18, or he's nearly 19. And he's achieved so much in a short period of time. The hardest thing for him is going to be to continue that progress, because of having done so much so young. That's going to be the problem. But the problem we have in this country is everyone gets built up so quickly, and
absolutely,
made massive, and then everyone's looking to knock them before they've had a chance to enjoy being great.
Come on, Paul. In fairness, it's a national pastime, isn't it? We love building up people and anybody. In fairness, he's an absolutely extraordinary talent. There's no doubt about it. We haven't seen the like since people say Gaza and what have you. But it's only natural that people want to talk about him. And there is the hype. But I'm sure Sir Alex Ferguson, I'm sure Rooney himself thinks, what a load of old rubbish. You know what I mean?
I'm wrong though, Rob. But I think Gaza came to Tottenham. I think when he was I think it was 21. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You know, Rooney's got another two and a bit years before he gets to that stage, and he's already playing for Manchester United, he's already playing for England, he's already achieved so much. Like I say, the hardest bit's going to keeping a lid on it, keeping it even, and so it doesn't get blown out of all proportion, and you know, suddenly like a bit of Michael Owen, but he's got more to his game than Michael Owen.
Let's hope he doesn't score the winner on Sunday against you guys, Paul, otherwise all the papers will be full of it.
Yeah, whatever. I tell you what, if he does, he deserves it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rob, what I was going to say is, can you see a discernible difference between Rooney, Jermaine Defoe, Sean Wright-Phillips, you know, those kind of guys? Because I can't. I think they're all three of them are promising footballers, but that's all they are. They're good footballers, but you know, to put them in a bracket of Platini and
but who has put them in that bracket?
But Paul, who is putting them in? I've never heard anybody put them in any kind of that bracket at all.
Every time I watch you on Sky Sports, every pundit, you know,
Who?
the guy up to the level that he just doesn't deserve.
Paul, on your on Sky Sports, as far as I know and I can remember, there is not one pundit who've said more than what Paul Walsh has said here tonight, which is he's a potentially terrific player.
Yeah, they all are. All the three that he just mentioned. Sean Wright-Phillips, fantastic. He's having a great time at Man City, and he looks exciting.
Terrific.
If it wasn't for, say, Beckham on the right-hand side of England, he'd probably be in there. Defoe, I think, is fantastic player, great ability, tenacious, got a great drive about him, good skill, twists and turns.
That's the way you look at it.
Great for England. Can't fault that. Rooney's the same, very young player with a lot of lot to look forward to, but he's got a lot to do as well at the same time. But you know, no one's putting him in the world-class category of Van Basten, Platini, this one, that one, or anyone else.
Paul, early days till he gets a hat-trick on Sunday, and then you will be there. Okay, calls, emails, text coming. Join us after the break. Welcome back. You're on Sky Sports. Paul Walsh is with us. The emails and the texts have been flooding in as always. Mick from Liverpool says, until Cisse and Barash start to gel, Liverpool will struggle to score. In the game tonight, although Barash had a good game, there are a few times he should have passed. Cisse needs to quickly acclimatise to the English game. What do you make of Cisse from what you've seen?
You've got to create chances for him because he's got to be a goal scorer, because I don't see him as a fantastic creative all-round footballer. I think he's decent, okay at holding it up. He's not going to trick his way, you know, past anyone with clever play. I think when he's in the wider positions, he's got enough space just to drop a shoulder and get past. And then a couple of times he looked like he was, you know, going to get balls across the box, but the final delivery wasn't there. I think he needs to be in goal-scoring positions and kill for me. He's got to liven himself up and start doing what he used to do, which is get past people, get good crosses in. For someone like Cisse who can profit from that, and Barros even. But a pair of them together don't just... You know, they're sort of doing their own thing without trying to really play off each other. You don't see one letting it run and turning and feeding off the other one and any real joint, clever play. It seems like they're just running around doing their own thing, even though I felt Barros at times did well tonight.
Yeah. Kerry Louise says, from Lee and Kez in Mansfield. Just wanted to say Alex Ferguson's constant moaning about Arsene Wenger and his fantastic team. We can't wait till Sunday to ram the words down his throat. Chris in Dudley has written the email of all emails. I was just about to see that. Chris has taken it's War and Peace like twice, and thanks for that, Chris. We appreciate your time and your effort. He says, I'm fed up with players like Steve Claridge saying people in the game. Don't think there is much harm done by this or that behaviour. By people in the game, does he mean the few hundred men who live out the dream of millions of boys every week and are paid a fortune for doing so? What nonsense are the people in the game seems to realise when not only what happened at Old Trafford that day, but also when it happened. During every match at every level, Chris is a coach at a youth level and referees games as well. There are flares between one or two individuals. But to the people involved, Sunday matches are just important. So at the end of the game, when tempers might be set, he goes on to basically say that what happens on the pitch, at a game like that, influences what happens on his Sunday and amateur games as well. He goes on to say, what was that line about? It's the worst thing he's seen in 40 years of football or something like that. I don't know.
You normally have one of these blows up once a season. It was a massive game. Manchester United, Arsenal. There's so much at stake. There's plenty of passion. major decisions. If players just all walked around like they didn't care, the email would say, well, players need to show a bit of passion.
Chris, Chris, I appreciate his point. I knew he'd gone a bit over the top. He says, transfer the volatile situation to any of the thousands of Sunday league matches where there are no stewards, police or TV cameras, not even linesmen, but where you've got two groups of very protective mums, dads and big and little brothers, you've got a potential bloodbath, he says, which is perhaps going a little over the top. But Chris, we take your point. Mario Nicola. I hope I've got that right, Mario. What do you want to say? There you go. I agree with you.
Thought of you saying
he's talking to Chris. Hey. Jason Smith. Hello, Jason.
Yeah, hi guys. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Jason. What do you want to say?
Well, I wanted to talk about. It seems that there's been quite a lot of sort of pundits on the shows there saying that United will get all their players back and they'll be able to challenge for the title. They got their players back last week, this week, and it just seems to me that's not going to be the case at all. Mm-hmm. I think they're light years away from Arsenal, and their midfield is just the way that it's set up. They're not there to defend, or they're
what midfield? What mid? Jason? I mean, Sir Alex has come out and said maybe he's picked the wrong teams, but as much as anything else, he's been forced to because of players being away, players being out, etc., etc. If their midfield on Sunday is Ronaldo on the right, Scholes, Keane and Giggs, what's wrong with that midfield?
Well, I mean, of course it sounds fantastic, but I think it's all about balance, and I think they really do miss Nicky Butt inside along Keane, because he was the legs for Keane. Scholes goes forward a bit too much to support, and they've got nothing in there coming back.
Yeah, but at the same time, Jason,
Jason, when Man United were a force, they were playing with Beckham on the right, Giggs on the left, Keane,
and Scholes,
and two strikers, and were fantastically successful. So I don't see why Keane and Scholes still can't work.
Yeah.
The problem is he's played everyone in the middle, hasn't he, this season?
Cleberson, Jemba.
It goes on and on.
Chopped and changed.
Even O'Shea's played in there.
Yes, I did tonight.
And Roy Keane's played at the back. He's had continuity problems right across the midfield, right across the back. Slowly, I think they're getting there. Got all their players back. Hasn't quite gone to plan, and the results haven't quite gone as they would have wanted. And then everyone's now just keeps looking at the table and always quoting how many points they are behind Arsenal. And I think it's plainly, obviously, they are getting too far behind Arsenal. Makes this game still great, because I think that Manchester United, Alex Ferguson feels this weekend, if they can beat Arsenal, not only they wouldn't get to that 50th game, it would give them a fighting chance of getting back at them. Chelsea losing a weekend, it could all just peg it a little bit closer together. It's a fantastic opportunity. That's why he's having a little dig in the papers this week and just trying to stoke it up and crank it up and get everyone at it.
I tell you what, Jason, maybe people can say Manchester United's midfield, because they all look at Roy Keane, don't they, and they say, and Roy said he's not maybe the same player, box to box, etc., etc. But maybe the midfield. But Sir Alex has gone and said, we're potentially building a terrific side here. And you look at the players they've got. I mean, this guy Ainsley for me is just a world beater. I don't know if you saw the game tonight. He's just wonderful. And if you've got Ronaldo, who's unbelievable. Okay, Giggs and Scholes still, and four fantastic strikers. Rio Ferdinand. I mean, they don't look too bad to me.
I know, but against Birmingham, he must have seen against Birmingham. I thought Birmingham were the better side, and I thought they deserved to win the game. Birmingham don't have anywhere near the players United have.
Yeah, but
it caused them so much trouble.
I was talking to you, Rob, a little while ago, wasn't I? I said it's funny how by not having Ryan Giggs, the problems that it caused them, because he wasn't there, Giggs. Then Saha came out to the left-hand side. And at one stage you had Rooney on the pitch, you had Scholes on the pitch, you had Van Nistelrooy, you had Smith, you had Ronaldo, you had everyone on there. And it looked like that everyone was just running everywhere, and the shape just went a little bit for me. Roy Keane was sat there, and they just couldn't seem to break Birmingham down. And I think they sensed that there was a little bit of disarray and no real method to what Manchester United were trying to do. And it gave them that little bit of extra encouragement. And they played quite well, Birmingham, and deserved something out of the game. But and it wasn't vintage Manchester United by a long way. But I just feel with Giggs back, Ronaldo on the right, Keane in the middle, Scholes, any two of those forwards or forward combinations looks good. Saha's back now fit. He could play Rooney, could rest him. He could, Van Nistelrooy. I still feel that when they get on a roll, they're going to be hard to stop.
Yep. All right, Jason, thanks. Sikandar Boa. Hello, Sikandar. Is Mario's back, is he? I'm all over the show here, sorry.
Super Mario, come on.
Super Mario, where are you? Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, thank goodness for that,
I've
Mario.
got the fan in one hand and the baby in the other.
Oh, right, yeah. Know the feeling, yeah.
Had to send the wife out so I could watch the football.
All right, yeah.
Okay, one quick point. The sale of Michael Owen to Real Madrid. Now, I read in the papers that Benitez walked into the Liverpool job knowing that Owen's contract was sitting there for a year waiting to be signed. Okay? Now, a few days before the tabloids revealed that Real Madrid were trying to get him, he was on the TV saying that it's just a matter of time before he signs his Liverpool contract.
Yes.
Just minor details. Now, the next thing we know, on the Monday, before our first Champions League, it comes out in the tabloids and on Sky that Real Madrid are interested. So he misses or sits on the bench for the first Champions League game.
We're sort of wandering down. We're wandering down yesteryear. The point being, Mario.
Yeah.
The point being.
Well, the point being is Owen must have known that Real Madrid were coming in for him for about a year.
No.
Liverpool.
I think funny enough, I think we had this on last time I was on, this conspiracy theory about what was going to happen. Transfers can blow up overnight, or literally overnight. And, he was definitely talking. He was making the right noises like he was going to sign a contract. Then all of a sudden, the club had a decision, had a very good offer from as far as a player in the last year of his contract. They certainly weren't if he wasn't going to sign that contract. And certainly when he found out Real Madrid were interested in him, I think it's difficult not to be interested in that for a change. I think he'd gone a little bit stale at Liverpool. And maybe that excitement of going to Real Madrid, even though it's not all going swimmingly well right now, I think it caught his fancy. And if he wasn't going to sign a new contract at Liverpool had a decision to make. Let him go. It was 8 million. They tried to get Morientes. That didn't work.
Mario, it's all done and dusted. It's history.
No.
It's history.
Get off.
Yeah, it's gone. Thanks. Sikandar, we got there in the end. Sikandar, what do you want to say?
Hi, Rob. Hi, lads.
Hi, Sikandar.
Right.
I'm a Chelsea fan. And there's obviously a lot of gloom and doom this weekend because we were cheated out with a result at Man City.
Yeah.
But I just wondered what you guys thought. I think Chelsea with Jose Mourinho will win the league, and I think they'll win the Champions League as well.
Well,
I mean,
the
big games are going to be the key to it, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, because Arsenal at the moment are just out footballing everyone to pieces, and I'm not saying they'll do that to Arsenal, and I'm not saying they'll do it to Manchester United, and they may have one or two sticky occasions through the season. But generally speaking, I think that those key big matches are going to be what decides the championship. And at the moment, I can't see anybody stopping them. Every time I've seen Chelsea play, they've absolutely crucified most teams in open play, but can't quite score the goals to go with the performance. I think I saw Southampton, I saw Tottenham at Chelsea. Every game I've seen, it's been 1-0, 1-0. They've had bags of chances, haven't killed teams off. And that could be the key to whether they actually can do it. I mean, Drogba's been... 1 minute I think I really like him, another time I think he looks a bit ungamely and uncomfortable. But I think over a season he's going to be a very good player. But
isn't the key? I mean, I know this is a ridiculous thing to say, but with a new manager coming in, Steve Claridge made the point last night that in his opinion it would take Rafa Benitez 2 years to begin to sort of put his kind of stamp on, and I completely wholeheartedly agree with him. Jose Mourinho's had 9 games. I mean, I know it's Chelsea and I know this, but how can he put his stamp on a side after 9 games?
What he's achieved.
40, 59, 69 games, 80 games, maybe.
Yeah, but don't you think what he's achieved at Porto is an indication that he can go on and achieve the same things with Chelsea?
That's right. No, I agree with you there.
But not in 9 games.
Not in 9 games he can't.
Oh, yeah.
He can in 80 games when he's got the whole setup and the whole way and the whole and people say, oh, if he doesn't win the championship, it's a failure. What a load of old rot that is. He spent all this money. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much money you spend. You can spend 500 million and not catch Arsenal at the moment.
To be fair, to the previous season, Abramovich was put under that pressure, wasn't he, to win it in a season? Ranieri was put under that pressure to win the championship in a season after the money he'd spent. I don't know if that same pressure is from upstairs is on Mourinho. I don't know, but I think they've expected to maybe win something. I can already see what he's trying to do. And they're hard to beat. They're good defence.
Yeah.
You've got Bridge going down. Ferreira's slowly got going. They've got a decent midfield. They've got decent strikers. They just are not killing teams off enough. They're creating chances. And teams are going to Stamford Bridge, sitting deep, making themselves very difficult to beat. And they're finding it quite difficult opening them up and creating those real chances and finishing them off.
Sikandar, thanks a lot. Keep calls, emails, texts coming in. Join us after the break. Welcome back here on Sky Sports. Paul Walsh is with us this evening. Quite a few Liverpool emails coming in about the game and performance tonight. Pitt from Colchester says Liverpool are still in a transitional period. Let's not forget that Rafa, the gaffer, has only 4 of his players there, and 3 out of the 4 are doing okay. He doesn't actually say which of the 3 out of the 4 is not doing well, but I think we can kind of guess. Mike from Liverpool says, at the Liverpool game tonight, I noticed many times players to influence the referee by gesticulating that he should be giving yellow cards. They were all Deportivo players. Do you know what he means with it?
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't think anybody likes that. When someone gets fouled, it's a free kick. You've won the free kick. But
why do referees, if anybody just goes like that, turn around and go,
to be fair,
card.
Frisk is majorly annoying, but he did get a little bit rattled about that, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he had a few moans at the Deportivo players for that.
Yeah,
but,
he did.
I mean, he's just as annoying as that yellow card situation.
Yes, he is. Dan from Warrington says there was an Arsenal fan on before the break saying that every time he turns on Sky Sports he hears people on about Wayne Rooney, that he's as good as Pele. Well, every time you turn on the TV these days all you hear is Arsenal. OK, they are playing well, but you know it gets beyond a joke at times. So the moment one of the best young English players in years gets some praise, you can't stand it. That's from, to say, Don from Warrington. And Mandy, with the best email of the night so far, says, tell Walshy I love his cardi. Want to buy one for my boyfriend? Where can I buy one from? Thanks, Mandy. That's the standard we're looking for on the text, by the way. That's a bit more like it, Mandy. Where was it?
I can't tell you that. You'll be wearing one next.
Yeah, no. Starsky.
Now I know I'm struggling if you start wearing it.
Starsky-esque cardi. Dave Higgins, you're on Sky Sports. Hello, Dave.
Hi, Rob. Love the show. Wanted to ask Paul. We probably answered some of my questions earlier from another person that was on.
Sure.
I'm a disillusioned Manchester United supporter. Looking at them in the last couple of games, they just don't seem to have a pattern in their play at all. When you look at them on paper, they seem to have a fantastic side, unbeatable. But when they go out on the pitch, they look as if they're playing as 11 individuals. And I wanted to ask Paul how he thinks Manchester United can turn it around. I don't know how many times they've played the same 11 this season alone.
Isn't that the key?
Well,
go on.
A bit of continuity. We've already said that across the midfield, across the back four. They had to wait to get Rio Ferdinand back. Hense, or however you say his name, left back, has been a massive bonus, but he come back and he had to take into consideration flying all the way back from Argentina or wherever else he'd been. And there's all these issues all the time.
Gary Neville's been injured, the midfield's been chopped and changed, the forwards have been chopped and changed, Rooney's been injured.
I mean, I suppose in an ideal world you'd have Sylvester, you'd have Ferdinand, you'd have Neville, Hense, Keane, Scholes, Ronaldo, Giggs, and I think any of the strikers, pairings
Van Nistelrooy, Sahar, Van Nistelrooy, Sahar,
Rooney,
Smith,
I think any of those would be a fantastic, combination. And he's got that option all the time. I think they would be his key main players. But there's already so many other things that you have to take into account, especially with Rooney. He's coming back from injury, playing 4 games in a short period of time. Had such a fantastic debut against Fenerbahce. But I think people just can't be expecting that all the time. It's a great start for him, a great night for him, but they've got to be a bit patient at the same time.
Dave, isn't that the bottom line? That with Arsenal, Henry always plays. When he's fit, Sol Campbell always plays. When he's fit, Vieira always plays. There's about 8 of those lads that play week in, week out. It hasn't happened with Manchester United this year for a variety of reasons.
That's very true, Rob. Ferguson came out during the week and he said that he put it down to a lot of tinkering in his selection during the season. Why some of the results were going against Man United. Can I also add that without Ferdinand tonight, I thought United looked very open at the back. He's made a big plus.
There's no question. I tell you what, as well, Dave. They talk about Cleberson and they talk about Jemba. Oh, they've not cut it. They're not. It's a lot easier going into a side that are winning well than it is going into a side that haven't been so consistent.
Because I think it is because the confidence is there. At the moment, you're going in, and when there's confidence in the team, everybody seems to help everybody else. When everyone's struggling or the team's struggling a bit, sometimes players are trying to sort their own game out first before they're in a position to help somebody else, and it's just that little bit tougher all round. Confidence is such a massive thing in football. When you're playing with bundles of it, you do things instinctively. People seem to move at the right time, and passes are hit without thinking. Sometimes when you do everything, you think about do it that bit slower, moves break down, and that little bit of slickness when you're a top team just goes a little bit. And I just think Manchester United, because of the lack of consistency in the team that they've been able to pick, have struggled a little bit from that point of view.
Cheers, Dave. Danny Blackett, you're on Sky Sports. Hello, Dan.
Hi there.
What's you like to say?
Basically, I just want to make 2 points about Man United. I think that firstly, that the thing is that Ferguson's been there too long, and his mind games that they're all old hat now. And basically, I think King's past it, and I think that Liam Miller is a load of rubbish.
Dan, thanks for joining us tonight. There you go. No such thing.
Don't beat about the bush.
Yeah, that was it. There you go.
I think.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, I think Roy Keane's had to modify his game. You know, we don't see him marauding forward anymore. But I don't think there's anybody with more experience who's better at receiving the ball off the back four, keeping things, just linking the back four to the midfield to the forwards than him. Liam Miller hasn't really had enough games or a big enough chance yet, but he's obviously a young player with talent and a future in front of him. Whether or not that's at Manchester United, he's yet to prove himself. But even if he doesn't make it at Manchester United, it's not to say he can't go somewhere else and do it.
Jerry Gallagher, you're on Sky Sports. Hello, Jerry.
Hi, Mark.
Hi,
Paul.
Hi, Jerry. You want to say, Jerry?
Yeah. But watching the match tonight, about the front two, you were talking about them earlier on.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do see the potential between those two in front. I mean, I call Barros chicken because he's like a chicken with no head. He runs and runs with his head down all the time. Right? If he lifts his head up, I swear to God, right? If he lifted his head up and looked where everyone else was moving, we would score. You know, Paul. He keeps his head down, but he's starting to lift it up now. I think Benitez has said to him, lift your head up, look where the players are, and put them in. Yeah. Right? I think that'll be a good position. I think the two up front will be really good. I just want to know what you think. And the get on to midfield.
I know what you're saying, Jerry, but because he is looking to do everything at 100 miles an hour, and sometimes you have to go a bit slow, then burst into life and do something quick. And I think he's got to want to, and he's got to look to play with Cissé if he wants to do it. And the pair of them have got to realise that they've got to link up a bit better and play with each other rather than just being isolated doing their own thing.
Is that something that comes with time, or is it something that you look at it and you think that this isn't going to happen? Because there are players, they say,
well, you'd like to think that the manager maybe gets them together and maybe just says, look, you know, you've got to start playing together a bit more. You know, you'd expect players of that. I mean, I can't believe I'm having to say this, but I think you'd expect players of that level and that calibre to be able to link up and play with each other.
We were with John Aldrich at the weekend. Jerry, I don't know if you saw us on Sunday. We're chatting about it, and he was we're talking about goal scoring and Ian Rush as well, of course. And they highlighted a number of examples where the ball had gone wide, and the two of them were sort of like standing in the same position. And now I don't know whether that's just a lack of, they're not John's going, one should have gone there and one's there. A number of times it happened. Now, I don't know exactly because they haven't played together enough, or is it?
It's quite simple. If the ball's on the right hand side, the second striker reacts off the first striker. Because if he's in there, it's no good me going standing there with him, is it? You stay out, and if he comes out, maybe he goes in, and you revolve around each other like that. It's experience that them players should have tenfold by now, not doing things like that. But they've got to want to link up, they've got to want to play with each other, and as long as there's a desire to do that, and the manager's maybe trying to work with them a little bit and encourage them to do certain things, then it should improve. But maybe it isn't a natural partnership, and sometimes you expect it to happen and it doesn't happen.
Jerry, what he's been doing the last couple of games, he's actually shifted Cissé out wide, hasn't he, and put Garcia up front with...
he's got Garcia behind him, hasn't he?
Well, he's got, but in the second half, he's kind of pushed Garcia up front alongside Barros and pushed Cissé right. I just wonder with the two of them that, the one thing that they don't do, none of them will come and hold it up, will they? They're not great. That's not really their strength. Both of them are sort of, ping it over the top and I'll chase that. Off we go.
Rob, I think that Barros is a bit more comfortable coming and getting involved with the ball. I think Cissé wants to play more off the shoulder and would like balls slid up the side to use his little bit of extra pace he's got to get onto things. And Garcia is obviously a talented player who likes to come and get the ball, run with it a little bit and can make things happen. Somehow they've got to deploy those three players in a way that's effective. And because it's not been working as a partnership through the middle, he's now sort of brought Cissé out on his right-hand side to maybe isolate it to use that bit of pace.
At the same time, Jerry, I tell you what, they created a bag full of chances, didn't they? Yeah. It could have been 3 or 4, couldn't it?
Can I ask you another thing, Max?
Sure.
I thought we'd miss Gerrard more than we have.
I
really thought we'd miss him more than we have.
But don't you think Didi Haman's playing arguably some of the best football he's played at Liverpool?
I've always loved it. Anyone, I cannot believe why any manager would leave him out in midfield anyway, ever. I think he's the perfect foil for Alonso and Gerrard playing behind him.
Yeah.
In that midfield.
Well, yeah, but then you lose a player on the right or the left. You can't have them all in there. You know, if you want to play with Steven Gerrard bombing forward, then you either got to have Alonso or Didier Mann sitting there and just holding the fort a bit. No, and then you've either got Kuhl, who, when Liverpool signed, I remember sat here last year going, what a great signing. It's been so disappointing. He leads to lost that little bit of zip, that little bit of desire to really go for the juggler, get past